So I came back from Israel, so it's no secret in terms of what's the situation with my father. Unfortunately, he's nearing the end of his life. And, as sad as it is, that's life. So on last Sunday, we had to rush him to the hospital. And being in a hospital, I saw something that actually made me think. In the room together with him, there were 4 other people there, different stages of, whatever they had. And there was one guy, a Yemenite guy, who had complete dementia. I mean, you really had to see him, not aware of where he is, and so on and so forth. And sitting in the chair trying to get up, drooling. It wasn't a pleasant sight. It really is not a pleasant sight to see people dying, tell you that. I told my daughter, if I ever get to that stage, please give me cyanide in my coffee and let me depart the world with a little bit of honor. However, his son was there, and he's talking to him. And the son says to him, do you know who I am? And he says, no, I don't know. And then, to make a long story short, he says to him, Abba, where do you, because they tied him in a wheelchair, because he couldn't be in bed, because he would just walk. So they tied him in a wheelchair, with his hands he can move, but just so he would not. So he says, Abba, what are you doing? He says, I'm going out. I says, where are you going? So he said, I need to do something. He says, Abba, what do you need to do? So he says, I need to build a shul. I need to build a synagogue. So he says, which synagogue, Abba? He said, the one. So he said, which one? The one Grandpa started? So he said, yes. We have to go and finish it. The shul has to be finished. So he says, Abba, we finished it 50 years ago. He says, no, the work needs to be done. We can't sit here, we have to go. And it's amazing. And a guy at a stage like this, believe me, it was like, the only thing he thinks about is building a shul. Next to him, there was another guy. People came to visit him, and the only thing that comes out of his mouth is, how is everything? I won't use that word, but it becomes with it starts with a S, and also sometimes could start with a C. And it has to do with, you know what I'm saying, right? Everything was bad. How's this? Bad. How's this? Bad. How are you feeling? Bad. How the nurse is? Bad. Everything is bad. And it made me wonder, why is one over the other? And of course, one of the lines or the quotes of Chazal that really struck me and made a dent in me is, of course, the words of Rabbi Akavya ben Mahalael says, one of the things is, Dal le'ayin lifnei me'ayin bata, where you came from. You should know where you came from, where you're going, and who you're going to give an account for your actions. In Native American societies, in many ancient societies, Japanese societies, and so on and so forth, the person would always get ready to the day he's died. In Native American society, a warrior, if you were a warrior, you will have your death song, and that you would sing, or you would dance, and it doesn't make a difference if it's the oglolas in the plains or some Indians Yaquis in the Sonora Desert. I mean, it's all preparing to die. Of course, the famous quote, if I'm not mistaken, by Crazy Horse, if I'm not mistaken, it's a good day to die, right? Or with the samurai society in Japan and all the ancient societies, death was as real as life, if not more real than life, because many times in life itself, it's one big illusion that we live. Our life, many times, we create this false illusion, and probably the only truthful moment in our lives is the day we die. Until that point, everything could be false, could be a lie, could be an illusion. So the preparation to die wasn't that the people wanted to commit suicide, or they were depressed, or so on and so forth. On the contrary, knowing that you're going to die allowed you to live life. And to live life is to live life in a certain way. Preparing yourself every day to the day you die. So the person who was interested in building a shul, building a synagogue, involved in good things, was something that he was obsessed with all his life, to do good things. And you see that when the balance in your mind, using Freudian terms, when you become all id, right? Then there is no mechanism to stop what you want to say. The truthful of the person comes out. So the question is, even whether you become a shever kli, when you become a broken vessel, is there anything to do with the pieces themselves? Can you use them for something, or they're completely cheres anishbar, useless? And to get to the point, you need to understand now, especially when you're young, that you need and you must invest in yourself to correct your midot, to work on your qualities, to work on yourself. You must work on tikkun midot, on fixing yourself every single, I wouldn't say even moment, every single action of your life should be geared towards the day that you're going to depart from this world and meet your Creator. Every action should be geared to that. Fixing your qualities, working on your belief, working on your emunah, working on yourself to become a better person, to involve yourself with good things, not to expose yourself to bad things, because these are all the things that will come out because they are in you. They are all in you, within you. Right now, there's a certain type of defense mechanism that will prevent that to come out. But when those defense mechanisms are not in place, the true person comes out. So the other person probably lived bitter life in his life. He had bitter life. He was bitter about everything, unresolved and unfulfilled and who knows what. But everything was bad. Nothing was good. That's how he lived his life. The other person was building, and emunah was important for him, and building a shul was important for him, and that's who the person is when he came out. And the question is to you, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Is this what I'm going to tell you going to make a difference? Are you going to change the way you look at things from now? But this is not day by day, this is not year by year, it's not next year I'm going to make a resolution. It is every single action of your life. Again, coming back to the basics, and we spoke about it many, many times before, of the concept of shiviti. I contemplate that God is in front of me all the time. And if God is in front of you all the time, you are not going to do probably 98% of the things that you do, or in the fashion that you do things. Everything has to be with that in mind. Argument's sake. When you take a shower, okay, everybody takes a shower naked. I mean, we don't, we're not one of those like burqa babes in Israel that take showers with clothes on, but mechila min hakavod, what do you do first? What is the first action that you do after you take out a shower and you dry yourself up? You check yourself in the mirror? You put your kippah first? You put your underwear first? What do you do? You walk around naked in the shower? Or in the bathroom, whatever it is that you do? What is it you do first? You could determine where you're holding based on those things. Somebody said, I'll put the kippah first. Yirat shamayim. I said, but you're naked. I said, cover your nakedness, then put a kippah on your head. Then do the rest of the stuff. Some people said, no, they just like to, like, what's his name? Benjamin Franklin, like sitting in the window naked, Yeah, it was a weird dude, this guy. But do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's why there's no room for slip and fall and slide and so on and so forth. You have to be focused. And you should know that, because you don't know when you're going to get the call. You don't know. You simply don't know. My mother told me of this couple that they knew. They were young. I don't know. I guess they were at the time in the 50s or something. And they went to a wedding. And the husband was dancing in a wedding, and they were called Tov Yafeh, and there's a big simcha, and so on and so forth. So they come home, and the husband says, "Oh, I'm feeling a little tired, a little dizzy. I'm going to take my jacket. I'm going to go to sleep." And the wife says, "Fine, not a problem." So he takes his hat off, puts the hat on the thing, takes the jacket, and all of a sudden she hears boom. He fell dead on the spot. He had nothing. Apparently he had something, but he's gone. Somebody else I know, it was the gabbai in Young Israel in Plainview. Remember this? It was Motzei Shabbat. I told you this. Motzei Shabbat. He used to say Kaddish for everybody. Right? He says Kaddish, less Kaddish. He says Shalom b'morav, v'achamar says Shalom b'kol Am Yisrael, v'mu Amen. Boom, fell dead. So that day could come, the meeting of your Creator could come, and sometimes it will be a process that will take you a long time. But you need to make sure. You need to make sure to do your effort to work on yourself, that when the time comes and the process begins, you're going to depart from this world with as much dignity as you can. And then it depends on what you work now. And there's no time to wait, and there's no time to postpone. It has to be now, and every action should be geared to that. Therefore, you need to make sure to say your brachot appropriately, to keep your Shabbat appropriately, to speak appropriately, to think appropriately, not to look at things you're not supposed to be looking, not to do things that are immorally wrong. Avoid yourself from looking into pornography and all kind of garbage like this, into filth. Associate yourself with good people who be able to immerse you, because ultimately you are the total sum of decisions that you made in your life. So therefore, you need to be around positive people, Torah-observant people, who would influence you. Then you eventually change yourself. That environment around you would allow you to change yourself. Will be the breeding ground where you could transform yourself to become a better person. And then, truthfully, that will become you. And then when the time comes, instead of being at best complaining that everything is bad, maybe you should be concerned about building shuls even in the last days of your earth. So, it is all a learning experience. I wish my father, Bezat Hashem, will be healthy, and and so on and so forth. But I was very happy I was able to go and to help my mother a little bit and to help my father a little bit. But more than that, it was just more of a learning experience for me, and I learned a lot. Being there for just a week, I learned a lot about what needs to be done. So, guys, please focus yourself, hold yourself together, and just work on yourself. Good day.